Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for lesson 2 on how to knit. In today's tutorial, I'm going to share with you how we do a slip knot and how we do a basic cast on. But before I do this, I wanted to share with you some information regarding yarn weights. And this is important because this will help you identify the correct needle size you need to use with the weight yarn you have. So before we pick up these needles, let's just talk a little bit about yarn. So I know in lesson 1, I suggested that you went for a double knit yarn with 4mm needles. And that is because some of the first projects we'll be knitting use double knit on 4mm needles. So as a starting point, that was a good place for you to start. However, you'll be aware when you go into wool shops, there is an array of different types of yarn. And different types of yarn will have a different yarn weight to them. So some will be 4-ply, some will be double knit, some will be chunky, some can be super chunky, and then you can get very, very fine yarns like this one. And each type of yarn requires a different needle size. Okay, so I'll talk you through on how you can actually find the correct needle size for your yarn. So I've got 2 here with the ball band still on. So what you need to look for when buying your yarn, if you look on the ball band here, so when you buy a new skein, new ball of yarn, it will come with a yarn band. And if you look on here, okay, it will give you lots of different details about how to care for the yarn and what the yarn is made from. So this one's 100% wool. But the thing we're looking for in particular is the ply. So here it's 4-ply. And now we need to look for the needle size. Okay, and so here it suggests we use 3.25mm needles. So that is the needles we would choose using this yarn. And if we went for a double knit like this one, which is the one I'm suggesting we start with, if you look on the ball band here, this one suggests we use 4mm needles with this weight yarn. So that is how you will determine what needle size you will use with which yarn. Okay, so that is just a brief yarn weight guide for you. As I say, at this stage, if you haven't yet bought any yarn, I would advise choosing a double knit and size 4mm needles to begin, and then as we go through the course we can move on to different types of yarn and different needle sizes. So I hope that's helped, and let's get knitting. Okay, so I hope that's helped, and now we're ready to move on to learn our slip knot. So taking our yarn, I'm just going to pop my needles to one side a moment because I want to show you the slip knot, because you need to be able to do a slip knot to pop onto your left hand needle to begin your cast on. So how I like to do mine is I like to wrap the yarn around my finger, okay, to form a loop. Okay, so it crosses over here. To pinch the join here with my thumb and finger. Then I like to pop my fingers through the loop, pull up the yarn, hook it onto my finger, release that pinch and pull the tail end and the working yarn, and that will give you a slip knot. So what the slip knot does is it's an adjustable loop, so you can open it up and you can tighten it up, and then we can pop it onto our needle to begin our cast on. Okay, so I'll just run through that again one more time for you. So we're going to take a nice length of yarn, I'm going to wrap it around my finger to form a loop. Okay, so I'll just lay that down so you can see. Okay, we'll have a loop. I'm going to use my thumb and finger to pinch the base of that loop. Okay, and the easiest way I can explain this is to, if you just pop your hand through the loop, pick up the yarn and pop it onto your finger, release the grip at the base of that loop and pull your tail end and your working end, and that will form your loop. Okay, so now you have your adjustable loop, your slip knot, to pop on to your needle. So if we take our needle in our left hand now and just pop your slip knot onto your needle, okay, and you find you can adjust this knot now. Okay, and we don't want to make this knot too tight, okay, so just loosen it back a little bit and this will make your cast on easier. We don't want a really tight tension which gives us really tight work. Okay, so we just want to be nice and relaxed with it. Okay, so taking our needle now, we are going to pop our right hand needle towards the back of our loop here, towards the back of our first stitch. Okay, and the needle is going to go to the back of the loop, goes through and under the left hand needle here. Okay, so it goes at the back, through the back of the loop and underneath the left hand needle here, like so. Okay, and then we're going to keep our tail end out of the way now, so you can just hold that with your left hand and that just leaves you with your working yarn free. As if you don't do that, it's very easy to use your tail end as your working yarn by mistake, and I have done that many times, so I do advise that you hold this tail end out of the way and it stops any problems further down the line. Okay, so now taking our working yarn here, we're going to wrap the yarn around the right hand needle and bring it through the middle of our two needles here. Okay, and now we're going to pull the right hand needle back and towards you, and that will pick up a loop. I'm going to open the needles. Okay, so you now have like a figure of 8 here. We're going to use our left hand needle to pick up that loop and pop across to our left hand needle, and that gives you your second stitch. Okay, so we'll run through that again. So our right hand needle is going through the stitch underneath the left hand needle. Okay, holding our tail end out of the way. Okay, so make sure the tail end is out of the way. You can hold it underneath the left hand needle if that's easier for you. Okay, we are going to take our working yarn and we're going to wrap the working yarn underneath the right hand needle, bringing it across through the center of our two needles. Okay, and now we're going to move our right hand needle back, and then as we bring it back, you'll pick up the yarn which forms your next stitch. Okay, and then you can just pop the new stitch onto your left hand needle. Okay, so now we have 3 stitches. So we'll just do that again, nice and slowly for you. So right hand needle through the stitch. Oops, my stitch is back slightly. Okay, so let's try that again. So right hand needle through the stitch, taking our working yarn underneath the right hand needle, wrap through the middle of the 2 needles, pull the right needle back, slight twist just to pick up that yarn underneath, which forms our next stitch, and pull out, and then you can just slip the new stitch onto the left hand needle. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Okay, so we'll just do that again. Just going to loosen mine up. Mine are getting quite tight where I'm moving everything around a bit here. Okay, so right hand needle through the loop, through the stitch you've just made. Okay, take your working yarn, wrap your working yarn underneath the right hand needle, bringing it through the middle of the 2 needles here. Move your right needle back, and then as it comes through, you're going to pick up the yarn here, which forms your next stitch, and pull out and pop on to your left hand needle. Okay, so if you wanted to speed the process up slightly, you can always do this, which is the same, popping your right hand needle through the stitch, working yarn round and between the 2 needles as before, right needle back as before, pick up the loop as before, open. Now at this point, when we use our left hand needle to pop this stitch onto the needle, we stop at this point and we're back to where our right needle is underneath our left needle, and then we can just wrap the yarn around, pull the right needle through, pick up and pull. Pop the left hand needle through that stitch, wrap the working yarn around and through, pull back, open, put the left hand needle through, and instead of slipping on, we stop here, we bring the yarn back around, pull through, open, pop the needle through, yarn round, pull the right needle back, open, and then if that's the right stitch count, we just simply slip that onto our left hand needle. So now you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches. Okay, so I hope that has helped clarify the basic cast on. There are of course many different types of cast on, but at this stage as a beginner, just learning this basic cast on is enough for now, and it will be what we will be using in our projects going forward at this point. So until lesson 3 comes out, then practice the cast on over and over and over, and this will help you not only learn the method, but it will also help with your tension, so your stitches won't be too tight, and it will help your stitches not to be too loose. And then in lesson 3 we will look at learning the knit stitch. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want to be alerted when lesson 3 is out. And for those of you that are interested, I am just going to talk a little bit more on different types of yarn. However, for those of you who are not interested, then by all means finish at this point, and I thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to joining you in lesson 3. For those of you that are interested in some more information on yarns, then stay tuned and I will talk about those now for you. So thank you so much, and I shall see you in lesson 3. Okay, so I want to just run through a few of the most common yarns that you'll come across as a knitter and some of the pros and cons of each one, just so you're aware of what's out there. So here in front of me I have 2 natural fibre yarns. These are both pure wool, so these obviously come from animal hair, and one of the downsides of this is that some people are allergic to wool, and another downside can be the price. Pure natural fibres are at the higher end of the price scale when looking at yarns and purchasing yarns for your project. However, they are beautiful to use and they produce lovely, lovely garments. The difference between the 2 pure wools here is this one here has been hand spun and hand dyed and is very rustic. So some of the yarn here running through this skein can be thicker at some points and thinner at others, and that is because it's hand spun. So that is completely natural and what you would expect with a hand spun yarn. However, this one here has been spun in a mill, so the wool is completely even all the way through, so you won't have certain parts that are thicker than others. So as we're on natural fibres, there's one more here on my table that I just wanted to pick up and show you that I have to hand, which is this one, and this is 100% cotton. So fabrics knitted in cotton hold their shape really, really well, so they're particularly good for making bags and dishcloths, face scrubbies, things like that. And the cotton is also reasonably priced, so you're talking around £3 for 100 grams, somewhere in that region, whereas for pure wools you can be talking £20 per 100 grams. Obviously that differs depending on dyers and suppliers, but just as an average, so you're looking at about £20 average for 100 gram of pure wool, and 100 gram of cotton you're looking around the £3 to £4 mark. So let's move on to a synthetic yarn. So something like this, which is a double knit yarn, and this is the one that we will probably be using for most of our projects when we actually start making things. So a double knit yarn is a very, very accessible yarn and very, very reasonably priced. So for 100 grams, you can pick up a ball for around £2 upwards, which makes it a very, very popular choice for knitters, beginning and experienced. So, and you have lots and lots of colour options within these, and many, many projects you'll make will be used with a double knit. So this one will probably be your most popular type of yarn. So if you're looking to purchase yarn and you're just overwhelmed and don't know which one to choose, then I would suggest going with a basic acrylic double knit yarn. And this is the type of yarn that we'll be using the 4mm knitting needles for, which I talked about in my previous video. So if you're yet to have any yarn in your yarn stash and you'd like to go and buy your first ball, then I would suggest for this course, going to find yourself a lovely ball of acrylic double knit. Other types of synthetic yarn you'll come across can have a wool content mix in, like these two here. So this one is 70% acrylic and 30% wool. So you have a mix there. And again, this one's a little bit more pricey than the pure acrylic option. So you may not want to purchase something like this as a beginner just yet. And this one here is again a wool mix, but this is sock yarn. So again, avoid purchasing anything like this at this point. So these are for when you're a little bit more experienced and you're happy to spend a little bit more playing around with different yarns. However, if you have them in your wool stash, then by all means use them. I just, as a beginner, wouldn't go out and particularly purchase these yarns at the moment. And then another one I wanted to show you that you'll come across is speciality yarns. So something like this here, which is very, very fluffy, and it has a very, very fine yarn running through it, and then you have all this fluff on the outside. Again, as a beginner knitter, I would avoid using this type of yarn until you're a little bit more experienced, because it can be quite difficult to see your stitches with this type of yarn. So I hope you enjoyed lesson 2, and I look forward to seeing you again in lesson 3, where we will learn the basic knit stitch. So until then, keep practicing your slip knot and your cast on, and I shall catch you in lesson 3. Happy knitting!